Alright, y'all, what's going on? So this is gonna be a re-upload. This is gonna be a voiceover too this time because I just uploaded this video and for some reason it had no audio. I think I just muted the track, but I already deleted the footage, so it's too late. But this is gonna be the ultra budget mid-mount turbo kit for G35 350Zs. And basically I think in this part I'm just giving background and context to this car. So I blew it up, and the reason why I blew it up was because I was tuned for a rear mount turbo kit that I had made, and I switched to a different mid mount turbo kit. I'm about to talk about that in a minute, but I switched that mid mount kit and I didn't get a retune, and the turbo was a little bit smaller and it spooled up insanely fast, and it was just too much low end torque, and the tune was just completely out of whack. It ran good, but see, that's the manifold right there, the old one, and this is gonna be mid mount V2 though, so we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna get a tune for this kit, and we're gonna make some good power. And so I'm gonna show y'all how to do this shit on the cheap. I'm gonna show you all the parts I use and just kind of go step by step. I'll kind of do this once again in a different type of format, kind of an all-inclusive, all platforms, all versions of the VQ and everything, and how to pick your turbo size and all that stuff. We'll kind of touch on that in a little bit, but for right now, show y'all this is the old manifold, the old exhaust. We're going to be using parts of the old exhaust. You got the new turbo up there. There's the old turbo on the floor. That is I think it's a max speeding rods, like GT 3582. And so over here I'm just talking about how this is bank 1 and that's bank 2. So the driver's side is a little further back, so you can see that's the bank 2, so that's how I'm going to refer to them as. But yeah, back to this manifold right here. I'm talking about a sound that it makes because the runner on the left side is so much longer than the one on the right side. Makes a little bit of an irregular sound. So yeah, it kind of sounds like an E46 a little bit. Just a little bit. Obviously, you know, inline 6 versus V6. It's really raspy and metallic, a little bit like Fresh Kicks S15. Thing is, his an HR though. They actually both kind of sound a little bit like a G80. Wow. Like I said, yeah, for a completely different motor and everything, it's pretty close. But this time around I'm gonna try to make the runners a little bit more equal length. So I'm gonna show y'all how I do that, and we're gonna try to get that merge to be a little smoother. You see right there, it's a completely 90-degree perpendicular like intercept where the pipes merge, so we're gonna try to make it a little bit more smooth and less harsh. But it's not gonna be perfect. That's why I said not even close. It's not even gonna be close to perfect, but I'm gonna show y'all how to do this and choose the cheap parts. Some of these you're gonna have to go a step up from the cheapest, but other than that, you could use decently cheap parts. You know, in 2024, you know, as long as you buy from the right sellers, you know what you're doing, you'll be all right. So same thing this time around, but we're doing all V bands. You see I have a lot of V bands right there, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to make that right. That's the bank 1. We're gonna try to make the bank 1 pipe a little bit longer so we can get a little bit more of that natural VQ sound back, just because that's kind of what I want. And obviously we're gonna do the 2 waste gates, 38 mil. These are the pipes I'm gonna be using. It's not thick at all, but it's gonna hold up and it's not gonna crack. I do recommend, you know, using gas, but like I said, it's ultra budget. We're gonna be gasless welds, and if you're gonna do gasless, I also recommend doing using solar flux, but I didn't use much solar flux while making this. So yeah, so these are the 2 V bands. So my headers, they go to V bands because I welded them to V bands while the engine was out, and that's where they collect, and they're gonna merge together, go into this 1 V band, and then it's gonna go into this T4, and the T4 obviously for the turbo. And then for the downpipe, you can see it's a little bit bigger than 3 inches, about 3.5. So I do have a reducer right here, and that's a 3.5 inch V band right there. and then we're gonna do a reducer, and we're gonna go full 3-inch because I already have, that's how it was for the old kit. You can see the exhaust down there. We're gonna be reusing most of that, but I'll still kind of walk y'all through once I get to the exhaust. Like I said, guys, this is gonna be kind of a just me doing this, and less of a tutorial exactly. I'm gonna be making another series like how to turbo, because I already have injectors for this car. I already have, you know, like fuel pump installed already, so this isn't exactly a full how to turbo, but it's kind of up there. You're gonna learn a lot from this. I've already made a lot of mistakes. I'm recording this, you know, a while after the car is already turboed as I record this, but yeah, so right here I'm talking about how the turbo is a lot bigger now. I mean, it's not way bigger, but it's like a TO4Z size turbo, so it's like it's supposed to be a 66 64, and the old one's a GT 3582, so that one's only like a 60 62 size basically. So, and the housing's a lot bigger, you know, T4, and also it's a 1 AR, and the old one was a 0.82 AR, so it's gonna be a little bit more laggier, but that's better because you don't want to make the torque too low on these VQs. They suck and they're gonna blow up. So anything under 400 torque, you know, as long as it's not too early, is relatively safe. Obviously, depending on the tune, I recommend E85, you know. But right here I'm clocking the turbo, and that's gonna be the feed. The bottom's gonna be the drain. It's gonna look something like this when you put it inside the car. You see, now we're underneath the car, and I'm just positioning the turbo where I think it's gonna go. It ends up being a little bit more forward than this. I kind of looked at a couple different kits for to see where I was going to kind of position the turbo, and there's a couple good spots you can put it, but I'm gonna just try to get it forward, tucked up as high as possible. It's still going to be relatively low, but yeah, we just need enough space for that whole V-band T4 thing. So you see we're going from, it's the bank 2 driver side. I'm going to do a loop this way, and then we're going to kind of go up to go to that turbo, because you can see the turbo is a little bit higher than the transmission. And then from that bank, we're just going to come out this way and do a loop down and try to have a decent transition into the merge. And it's going to merge right before that V-band, and then that V-band to the T4. The only reason why I'm doing that is just because if I need to take the turbo on and off, I could just take off the V-band rather than having to take off those 4 bolts. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to reach, especially those back 2 bolts or the top 2 ones. Use lots of painter tape to mock up. And I had a couple questions in the comments already from the fucked up post that I have to do this and re-upload. Somebody asked if I was going to do air to air or air to water. I'm definitely doing air to air. It's going to be the same exact charge pipe being set up as my last kit, because this turbo is going to be relatively the same spot. So I'm just going to use all the same stuff that I had, just in terms of the cold side. But this is part 1, and this is just me explaining everything. And then part 2, I'll be finishing the hot side. And then part 3, we'll get to the wastegates and the exhaust and the little bit of the cold side. And then part 4, we'll kind of round it all up with the cold side, vacuum lines, and touch again on fueling, spark plugs, and all that. And yeah, so thank y'all for watching. And this is yeah, I just had to freestyle this voiceover real fast because this is my only option since I ran out of audio. So next part's coming very soon. Follow me on Instagram, Denny Balance, at Denny Balance, pretty much anywhere. And yeah, have a good ass day.